Hey everyone, week 9 of our in-home workouts. Today I'm bringing it back outside and we're going to do a band workout. I have a few different bands that we're going to use. One is hooked up to the pole. Then I have a mini band for some glute activation, and then just a free band right here that we're going to use as well. We're going to go over some shoulder strengthening and prehab exercises that are going to be really good for our athletes, especially our athletes that are throwing and hitting overhead with the arm. And then we're going to go over some, like I said, some glute activation. This is going to be really good for all of our athletes because we want to make sure we're firing our glutes properly. This is going to help prevent some injuries, hamstring injuries, quad, knees, things like that. And then we're going to go over a strength workout with the band. So to start with, we're going to start with this free band. You're going to grab it on each end, stand shoulder width apart, core nice and tight, shoulder blades pulled back and down, and then it's called a band pull apart. I'm going to extend the band out and then bring it back nice and controlled. That's something you really want to focus when you're doing band workouts, is keeping it controlled and not in a fast manner, because we want to keep those muscles under that tension and a controlled motion. For all these exercises with the shoulder, we're going to do 15 to 20 reps. So that's going to be your first one. Then you're going to take that same band and you're going to go at an angle. So we're going to grab it down and then we're going to pull it up and across the body. If you need more resistance, you can bring the hands in on the band and then extend out and back. Again, nice and controlled, core nice and tight, shoulder blade pulled back and down, and then you'll switch going the opposite direction. So that's going to be with this band right now for the shoulders and arms. We're going to put that down and we're going to go over to the pole. Here's going to be a very good exercise for our baseball, softball players, like a throwing motion. I'm going to be in a lunge position, so if the band's in my right hand, I'm going to have the left leg out in front. I'm going to bring that band up over my head, and then we're going to extend it out and across the body, so like we're throwing. With this, we want to focus on trying to dissociate our shoulders from our hips, meaning my hips stay in place initially as I start to rotate the chest. As I rotate that chest, I want to press that hand out and around, and then bring it back nice and controlled. Again, if you need more resistance, bring that hand back on the band, or you can step out further and then repeat. So out and back and controlled. Right here in this controlled motion. Then you'll switch, so we even on both sides. Right foot out, left hand has the band. Again, extend that hand out, across, and then back. 15 to 20 reps on each side. We're going to stay over here at the pole with the band. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to pull back so my arm stays parallel to the ground. Then I'm going to externally rotate my hand up and then control it down. And then repeat this motion 15 to 20 times on each side. We're going to, again, work in external rotations. So we're going to now do it from the side. I'm going to pin my elbow towards my hip, and I'm going to externally rotate my hand out and then bring it back towards the body. Nice and controlled, 15 to 20 reps on your right arm. Then I'm going to go ahead and just rotate, and I'm going to do an internal rotation. So bringing that hand towards the body. Again, keep making sure we're in an athletic posture, core nice and tight. 15 to 20 reps. Then you'll switch hands, so my left arm will go external and internal. So there's going to be a few of our band exercises that we're going to work for our shoulders. Next, we're going to go on to our glute activation. And so you're going to pick up that mini band, and I'm going to stick the mini band right above my knees. We're going to go on the mat, and we're going to do glute bridges. So with our glute bridge, you want to really focus with the mini band. This gives you good emphasis on pushing the knees out, so we're squeezing the glutes. So with our glute bridge, core nice and tight, squeeze the glutes, lift up. As you're lifting up, make sure you're pushing those knees out. Hold at the top for a few, and then lower nice and controlled. And then up again, and lower nice and controlled. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 of our glute bridges right here. Once you get your glute bridges done, you're going to stand up. You're going to keep the band still around right above the knees, and we're going to do monster walks forward and back. So with the monster walk, you're going to take a step forward, keeping it nice and controlled. Again, making sure that knee's pushing out. We don't want that band to pull yourself in. That's what that band is really good for, is it's helping you kind of give you that awareness. I need to push that knee out. And then I'm going to step forward again, keeping resistance on the band. So I'm going to take 10 steps forward, and then I'm going to do 10 steps in reverse right here. If you're in a smaller space, try to just get 20 of going forward and 20 going back. You're going to do that 3 times as well. Next one is going to be a lateral band walk. So again, keep the bands right around above the knees. You're going to be in an athletic stance. Push those hips slightly back and down. Glutes need to be engaged. As I take a step, I'm going to step to my right, and I want to make sure I'm not bobbing up and down, but I want to keep everything nice and level. And then I'm going to bring my left foot in. So right foot steps out, and then left, right here. You're going to do 10 to your right, and then go back, 10 to your left, right here. So I'm going to face forward again, making sure we're pushing those knees out as I take that step. And I don't want my hip to hike up as I'm driving over or taking a step. You want to keep those hips nice and level, so we're squeezing those glutes. Again, you're going to do 10 each direction, 3 times through. So those are going to be our glute exercises that we're going to do with the mini band. Now we're going to move on to a strength series with our free band right here. The first exercise we're going to do is going to take the band in both hands, and then I'm going to step on the band in the middle, and we're going to do a deadlift. So I'm going to turn to the side, and with this deadlift, you're going to hinge those hips back, a slight bend in the knees, but I want those shins to be a little bit more vertical. We don't want them too far forward here. So push those hips back. We're not in a full squat position. You're a little bit higher, but your hips also aren't popped too far up, because then we're going to put a little bit too much strain on the lower back. Keep a nice neutral spine from the head to the hips. As I start to stand up, I'm going to drive with those glutes up, and then stand up, squeeze the glutes, and then lower nice and controlled. You'll feel that resistance on the band. You can be nice and explosive with this exercise, especially with that band. Push those hips forward, drive up with the glute. 3 by 10 of your deadlift with that exercise. This time we're going to step on one part of the band, and I'm going to bring the band up towards my chest so the band rests in my palms. My elbows aren't too high up like a front rack position, slightly down, because now we're going to do a push press. A push press, what you're going to do is you're going to have a slight dip, so the hips push back, slight bend in the knees, and then you're going to drive that band up overhead, and then nice and controlled down. So you're going to dip down and explode up. Be nice and quick. The difference between a push press and a strict press is a strict press, you're standing straight here without that dip. You're really just pressing straight up overhead. But I want us to work a little bit more explosive movement, so we're going to dip down and drive up. 3 by 5 of this exercise. Our next one is going to be a hammer curl. So with the hammer curl, it's going to be like you're making your fist right here, and it's going to stay upright. So I'm going to grab both ends, and I'm going to keep my elbows pinned towards my body, and I'm going to do a hammer curl up and down right here. Nice and controlled, to turn to the side. Core nice and tight. Athletic position. Slight, gentle knees. Right here, 10 reps of your hammer curls. The difference between your hammer curl and a regular curl is on that regular curl, your palms will be facing out as you curl up. Hammer curls are facing towards each other as you're curling up. So 3 sets of 10 of your hammer curl. Then you're going to do an overhand grip on the band, and you're going to go straight into a front raise. So lift those arms up, and then lower nice and controlled. Keep the core nice and tight, glutes engaged, shoulder blades pulled back and down. Go just to that shoulder height. 3 by 10 of your front raise with the bands. Then our last exercise, we're going to hook this band to the pole, and we're going to do a hamstring curl. So you're going to have to lay on your mat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook the band behind my heel. I'm going to lay on my stomach, and I'm going to come out just where I can feel that resistance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heel towards my glute, and then release nice and controlled. So squeeze that glute, then you'll feel the hamstring squeeze as you bring the heel towards the glute. 10 reps on your left leg, and then you'll switch 10 on your right leg. So you're going to do 3 sets of all of that. So you've got your deadlift, push press, hammer curl, front raise, and hamstring curl. 3 times through, 10 reps on each leg, except for your push press, you're going to do 5 reps there. The last, we're going to finish with our mini band again, and we're going to do a core exercise. So you're going to be on your back, and I'm going to hook the mini band to my feet here. I'm going to lay on my back. Feet are going to be straight out in front, chin tucked, core nice and tight, so think belly button to spine. And what I'm going to do is going to lift my legs up off the ground, and then I'm going to do like a sprinting motion. Bring my knee towards my chest, hold here for a count of 2 to 3, and then back. And then alternate. And back. Switching right here, nice and controlled. Think 10 on each leg, 3 times. This is a really good core activation exercise. So, that's your exercises for the day. You've got the shoulder prehab mobility work, some glute activation, and a little strength series for you. Give this one a shot, and I'll see you next week.